What's up, everybody? This is Darren DeWitt Henson, and you are watching and listening to the In the Groove podcast. All I'm going to say is juicy. We got a sexy one today. We got a sultry one today. Today, Queen T is not in the studio with us, but we're going to hold it down for her. And ladies, this one right here is especially for you. Today, we have in the studio Mr. Keith Washington and friends, and we'll tell you who the friends are in a little while. Keith, welcome to the show.
Oh, man, thanks for having me, dude. I couldn't come to the ATL without being part of the group. You know?
Man, it's so good to see you, and you brought somebody along with you, Mr. Michael
Mendigal.
Yes, Mendigal. Producer. I mean, you've done so much. We're going to talk about everything that you are doing and everything that you've done because you got some special stories.
Yes, sir.
That I want to talk about and let the world know about because they need to know about what you've done and what you're doing right now. So we're definitely going to get to you. Now, this show clearly is going to air after your performance tomorrow. But tomorrow you're performing at
The City Winery.
The City Winery in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I know, like, how incredible. Like, I'm excited because I already know. Keith, I've got to say this before we start. First of all, let's do this the right way. Cheers to a 2023. May you continue with your blessings. May you continue with your health, your prosperity, and longevity to you as well, Michael, and to all our listeners and viewers out there. The same to you all. We love you to life.
No doubt.
Bless.
Felt
like I had to get some extra hair on my chest with that one. Because I don't do brown liquor. But I just did it for you today. I'm going to warm up my voice a little bit.
Oh, it's definitely doing that.
I think it just got a little bit.
You transform into a singer now.
Straight R&B. My brother Keith.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I love you so much. I'm so happy to have you on this show.
Thank you, dude.
And I've got to say this. I saw you in Chicago a couple of months ago. My brother, I've seen you perform. I've heard you perform. But the rendition that you did of Loving You in Chicago, oh my God. It was like I saw you for the first time. It was so incredible to me. I don't know. Tell me what it was about the Chicago audience or that day, what you were feeling, what you were going through. Was it the feedback it seemed like you were singing from the tip of your toes to the top of your head.
Well, I was.
Man.
Well, the thing is, first of all, big shout out to Chicago. You know, I'm from Detroit, so that's like family, you know. But for the most part, the fans are so great, and especially all over the world at the same time. But you just have those moments, like, you know, I know how powerful Kissing You was when it first came out. I know the impact that my fans give me when I'm performing. What I do and what I pray to do, Darren, is every night leave it on the floor. Yeah. I leave it out there. And but that particular night, you're right, there was something special. I mean, even the tribute I did to Teddy, I mean, all the stuff was just phenomenal that night. And I was totally in good voice. And see, that's one thing about us singers. We want to always be our best, but you got to prepare to be yourself. As an actor,
yes, sir.
You got to make sure you get that rest. You got to make sure, you know, you're ready for that evening. You got to just make sure your mental state of mind. I'm like Michael Jordan. It's like when I'm out there, I'm out there. You know what I mean? I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's going on in my life. I impacted into what my show's about. And that particular night, I just was feeling good, and I just was feeling good. Not to mention, you know, that it was a surprise to know that you was there. Man, it was a surprise. I saw my brother come through the back. Hey, Mike, I was like, D. He's like,
we was
man,
beating off the women.
Oh, we was going. Right. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, they saw D. They was like, oh, that. I was like, oh, I'm glad he raised the heat off me. Right? You know what I mean?
I was trying to throw it back.
Right. We was going back.
It was crazy.
But no, to answer your question, man, it's like you have those moments, and you can contest as an actor and as a professional dancer. You know, you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes you just have those. You know when you've done a good job. See, the difference between an actor and a singer performance, they can do this. Take over. Me, you know how it is, Mike.
Yep.
One shot only, baby.
That's it.
You know, you're on that stage. I mean, it's like.
And I just saw you handle it. I mean, they were like melting butter in your hands. Listen, I want to bring this to your attention right now. And, you know, people are saying this. I think it's bullshit, but they're saying R&B is dead. What do you say to that? What say you?
I say that's a lie. Totally. You into what you like. You know what I mean? I think for the most part in today's world, R&B has been perceived as what it is today. You have a demographic that like what they like. Less is more for the most part, and what the lyric content is today is something we didn't talk about then. We talked about it in a very sophisticated way. Love was not, I don't know if you can curse on this show, but love was not asses and titties in a way that they send it today.
That's right.
I'm not knocking them.
Yeah, but we're losing
the value
some of the value
of it,
of the essence of that beauty, that love, when it gets so when it just gets so flat out, I want to F you.
Yeah.
You know,
but back in the
yeah.
day was like, turn off the lights and let's get cozy. It was that kind of love making.
Come here, girl. Now it's come here, B.
Right, no question.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, Darren? I got to say, if they feed into that shit, then that's what it is.
Yeah.
They don't have to feed into that. I mean, what happens when, you know, as for instance, I saw something with Dionne Warwick when she said she had that meeting with Snoop and all of them at her house. She said, now call me a bitch to my face in my home.
Right, I'm here right now.
I'm here. You saw this. I'm here talking. And he was like, I can't, you know. And she was like, what you going to say when your kids come to you and say, Daddy, this is you calling women bitches? My thing is this, it will come a time when we all have to sit down and say, damn, what the hell was I doing there?
What was I doing? What was I thinking? What was I putting out?
Right.
Because art imitates life and life imitates art. And so if you're calling somebody those words, they're going to act like that. They're going to run around like that. And so you're distributing and redistributing a falsehood, a narrative that really doesn't describe us.
No.
You know, when I went to Africa, this was so amazing. I went to do a movie in Africa called Zulu Wedding. Shout out to Dineo Sekeleone in South Africa. And I remember being there, and I was so well received and so well loved. It was overwhelming. But one of the things that made me put my head down was they were like, we watch these reality shows. Do black women really spit on each other and pull each other's hair? And I was like, come on, man. Those reality shows are unrealistic. It's not true. It's not how we deal with each other. And so for me, music speaks to the essence. Like when I think about your music, when I think about Shantae Moore, when I think about Lionel Richie, when I think about Teddy Pendergrass, you felt every word, every line, you know, Luther Vandross, like you spoke from the heart and the soul and what you were trying to do.
You reached the pulse to the heart.
Yes. You got to the point where you made somebody listen to the love that you were trying to express verbally and energetically through the music.
Well, can you imagine back then we were giving CDs to those we love? Maybe this is the turn to express how I feel. Give them one today. You know, you'd be like, what the hell? Right. I don't want to hear my ass or whatever the case is. But to get back to what your original question was, man, R&B is not dead. It's just the work that you put out. And not only that, but see, understand another thing. When it comes to labels, first of all, it's like, if I don't have to spend $500,000, $600,000 on an artist with strings, producers, I can get down with this rap with a keyboard and a little sonically little bitty shit, and this guy's rapping over it. I can get away with that with a less budget. I'm gonna win in the end. That's what labels. But now today, everybody got a label.
Yeah.
Everybody. Music is not sophisticated as it used to be from a business perspective, because everybody can do it. Back in the day, you had to be that. We wasn't just signing nobody because you had to sing. You had to sing. And it's not gone, man. Look at Charlie Wilson. He's out there doing
Oh,
this
my
thing.
God. He
Look
sounds
at Kim.
just as
Yeah.
Kim.
Come on,
Charlie,
man.
they sound, I mean, dare I say, even better than they did years ago.
No question. But not only that, but see, the audience
Tapped
is
in.
there. The audience is there. It's what they receive. What you put out. Everybody don't want to be a bitch in the hole.
That's right.
I don't mind being that in the bed, women may say or whatever, but don't
Not
disrespect me on the
grown
record.
people anyway.
There you go. Not grown
grown
people.
folks.
We're not going to do that. No. But no, it's coming back, man, and we've been talking about it. It's coming back, and it's going full circle, as all things do.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you, when you were growing up, who was your musical inspirations? Who inspired you to sing?
Well, My sister, my older sister, I was like 6 years old, and she would play James Brown constantly when my mother would leave the house. I love drawing, so I would be in the room, but I learned his words because she would play this song every damn day. So one day she walked past the room and saw me singing, standing up singing, and so she just stared. So James, I must say, James Brown was a very strong inspirational person in my life as an artist because I was feeding into it because my sister was playing it. So I learned all the words, and he inspired me. But to move forward, because I'm from Detroit, there's been several over the course of the period of my life.
And you had Motown there.
Yeah, no question.
At that time.
Marvin Gaye,
God.
Stevie. I learned from the Dramatics. I used to tour with them when I was 17. I was like the sixth Dramatic. A lot of people don't know. I was in the background with the band, but I was holding down notes for individuals. And then they would feature me from the back to come and sing with them in the front for many years. So that's how I was exposed. And of course I did Star Search, but at the same time, Marvin
I remember
Gaye,
that. I still have that on
me and
VHS.
Me and Sim,
I have it on VHS.
Oh my
Your
God.
episode,
Yeah.
I have it.
And the crazy thing about it is, so coming from Detroit, there's been a lot of female in there, like Aretha Franklin. You go back to Motown, the Martha Reeves and the Van Dyke. So I've been inspired by so many. You can be inspired by so many, but what you do with that matters the most. That's right. So music is my life.
Now, Mr. Michael, I wanna ask you something. So you're working with our brother Keith right now. Tell me what you are projecting, because it's not just about right now. It's about a year and 2 years from now, right? Sounds change about every 5 years. What are you working on now musically that you feel will still resonate with us in 2024 and 2025?
Well, again, I grew up in Detroit, so I've learned to do timeless music. Even when seasons change in music, you can still put music on from back in the day and get a certain feeling.
Now, does that come from a gospel background?
Gospel, yes. I come from the church.
I mean, I had to ask because I can feel it on you.
Oh, yeah, I come from the church, because that
Every time you speak, I'm waiting for you to say amen. At the end
amen, brother.
Amen. Amen. What the
my dad was a bishop. He was a preacher. I'm a PK, but, a lot of artists, Aretha, you talk about Aretha, I got a Grammy with Aretha. She did A House Is Not a Home.
Wait, hold on. What did you say again?
A Grammy with Aretha.
Okay. I want everybody to understand what Michael just said. He got a Grammy with Aretha Franklin.
When they did that tribute to Luther Vandross, she did A House Is Not a Home. I played the piano on it.
My favorite Luther song.
I played the piano on it, right into her house.
That I know you got stories.
Oh man,
those are stories.
Mike, excuse me, wasn't that Dionne Warwick song? A House Is Not a Home?
That first did, yep.
Originally.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who.
A House Is Not a Home was originally a Dionne Warwick song.
It was, and a white group sung it too.
Yeah.
I think. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Luther was doing remakes.
Wow. And making them his own.
Making them his own.
And you also have a Sparkle story. Tell us about that.
Got a call from Sony because Sparkle was filmed in Detroit, and they needed Jordan Sparks wanted to play in the movie.
Amazing vocalist.
Amazing. So I got the call, to teach her how to play piano in the movie. So I was literally on the set every day with Whitney Houston, and and all the cast,
of course,
just in case, Jordan.
There was no body double. She wanted to do it herself.
She played the piano.
My question, I'm sorry, Mike. My question, so how many times did this take? You messed up the chord. Mike Jordan.
Actually, she played guitar.
So she's musical.
She was musical.
Oh,
she
see,
played
I didn't
guitar,
know
but
that.
she wanted to play piano for the movie.
Shout out to Jordan Sparks.
Yeah.
We waiting for you to come on In the Groove podcast, Jordan. We welcome you. Come on in. Wow. And that movie was wonderful. I think that was a great remake.
It was.
It was a great remake. It was special and it's beautiful, and now it's historical.
So, getting back with Keith, Keith is a real singer, man, and we get along because he's very particular. It has to be right. Like it was back in the day.
That's right.
It has to be right. It ain't somebody just auto tune and all that. No, he'll do one line 50,000 times just because he wanted it right. So we want to do timeless music again.
And reintroduce rhythm and blues.
Rhythm and blues.
Reintroduce it because it ain't never go nowhere.
Right.
No.
So Keith, I want to ask you. I mean, because you've been performing with artists. You did a song with our friend Shantae. There's a really beautiful clip, and I love it for many different reasons, where you guys did Soul Train together, right? You know it's what I'm talking about, and to have Don Cornelius. I don't know if you know, but they're actually doing Soul Train as a Broadway show now.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's going to Broadway. They're working on it literally right now. One of my brothers, Adesela Osakalumi, is working on that. They're taking it to Broadway, Soul Train, right now. So that's another thing I want to talk to you about, because I've worked with you as an actor, right? I want to see you more on the television screen.
That's amazing.
I want to see you more on the movie screen, because you got chops, brother.
Thanks, Dan.
I've seen you work. No. I don't give props where they not due. I give them where they do. And you got chops, brother. Like you could sing and act. I don't know if you could dance. I mean, I know you could sway. I seen you sway.
Well, hold on. The thing is that if I can't dance, I got the best instructor to teach me, right?
Oh yeah, I could choreograph.
You choreograph.
We can make it happen. But you got acting chops, brother. I've seen you. So I really want to see you do more work as an actor.
Well, go ahead and get me on family.
On family business.
Yeah,
come on and be an uncle, right?
Be an uncle on that, right? Make it happen,
Come on and be an
Make
uncle.
it happen.
Let me tell you something. Stan Shaw came in there and just started whipping that screen when he came on, because it was like after Ernie Hudson, it's like but then Stan came on and Stan did his thing, man. You talking about a character actor. I was with Sam Jackson the other day. I went to see piano lessons on Broadway, and me and Sam were talking and joking around, man. He said, Stan is on the show now, right? I said, yeah. He said, man. And he said his son and Stan's son is on the show as well. Man, they just acting a fool on the family business. Shout out to Carl Weber's The Family Business and the Family Business fam. I mean, but I would love to have you, man. I'm gonna put your name in the hat and talk to our producers, because I mean, come on, the ladies love you. You got the sultry eyes, you got the great looks. You know what I'm saying? Still got all your hair. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, there's brothers out here, doing all, but you still look great, beautiful, you in shape. You know what I'm saying? You just doing your thing.
And that's what life's about. I owe all my I should say my position when it comes to fashion and keeping my hair groomed to this guy here.
Still cooler than Ice Cubes. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm saying Scott Julian did all this.
Shout out to Scott Julian.
And cuts my hair.
You know what I'm
done
saying?
The wardrobe. And he's done all that stuff.
Because my hair started going, peace, D, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I had to do the Beijing. I had to do the puffer. Hey, I'm gonna call it like I see it. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you what's funny.
But then I said, I'm going bald. You know what I mean? Because I tried to hold on. People started saying, oh, he got, no, it was my hair. But, we put the Beijing and what's the other one? The something for men.
The man weave.
Just for men.
That shit broke me out. I couldn't deal with that.
All of that. I tell people don't mess with that, because they got all kind of chemicals in it that break you out and get hives and shit.
Let me tell you something. I did a concert. Joe and I done a few things together, and we were in. I forget where we were at.
I don't call it just for men. I call it just for the brave.
No, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Joe, big shout out to Joe.
Joe, that's my man, Joe.
Joe, we backstage, right? I just came off stage, right? And we got to talk after Joe got off stage. We in the trailer just chopping it up, right? Toasting up on the show was great. And Joe got into the thing about Just for Men and Beijing. He's like, Kate, what you use? I said, to be honest, man, I get a little gray. Well, some gray down there. I got this, but
Look, I'm proud of it.
I'm proud of my shit, but
I mean,
here's my
you
thing.
know.
Let me tell you. So he said, I said, well, every now and then I touch on that Just for Men, but I stopped because it broke my shit out.
Yeah, man.
Joe turned me on to some shit. I swear to you. Joe turned me on to something that don't burn. It doesn't do anything. And because he's a fanatic on going online research. And he sent me some shit, man.
Stupid.
That stuff did not burn or nothing. Now in my hair, I don't color my hair, never have. I got a little gray, maybe y'all may see it.
Look, we earned this,
we
man.
earned
It's
this
all
shit,
good.
man,
And bottom line, women love salt and pepper.
No question. But here's what I'm gonna say about you. Let me just back up. Even though you said your hair said peace, I'm out. But see, Dan, there's a difference. You got charisma, you got looks. You keep your body. I called him the other day. Dan was breathing hard.
Man,
What
I
you
was in
doing?
the gym.
I'm working out. But see, these are the things that people feel about, especially sometimes the younger generation. You know, you see these people that been around for a while. You see them now, what he once was and where they are today, as far as their visual aspect. They don't. You be like, what the hell they doing?
Yeah, they fell off.
Darren. I have to say this: the first time I was introduced to you, brother, was on Stomp The Yard, and I'm gonna tell you something, bro. I'm still a fan, D.
Thank you,
You
man.
know,
I love
I'm
you,
still a fan. And when I saw that movie, I said, "Who is this crazy dude? Who is this?"
Yeah, Grant was off the chain and stuff. Grant was off the chain. He told April, "You gonna lose out on me." He said, "What did he say?" He said, "Red, blue. I don't know what's this about." Like
he was arrogant, conceited, all above, because he knew he had it going on.
Right.
And when the competition came, oh shit!
It was incredible, man. You know, Stomp the Yard for me. Most people don't know that movie. The reason I wanted to do it so much was because, first of all, I love John Travolta. John Travolta is like a hero to me on many different levels because when I was younger, Saturday Night Fever came out, right? You had Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
And so he was an actor and a dancer. I was like, I want to do that. Gregory Hines, actor, dancer. So when I had the opportunity to do Stomp the Yard, I said, that's going to be my fraternity. I'm going to be in the fraternity like Michael Jackson, right?
Man.
Like Prince. Like these people acted and they danced. And I was like, this is an opportunity for me to join that fraternity.
Let's go back to
And I
Fred
did.
Astaire.
Oh my God.
All the way. You know what I mean? Back then,
Gene Kelly.
Yes.
The Nicholas brothers.
Yes.
Right? Like you're talking about people whose legacy stands today. I mean, Michael Jackson studied the greats and you become greater, right? And so it's so interesting to me when we talk about music and musicality because acting is also rhythm, cadence. It's a rhythm. And I use that. I listen to your music when I'm in scenes sometimes. When I have certain scenes, I'll turn you on. I'll turn Luther on. I'll turn, and again, this is for those people who know. If you don't, Google them. Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, right? Keith Washington. Like, do your homework and understand what real music is, And I mean, when we tap into that, those beautiful sounds, that beautiful energy, you're touring in America, you tour outside of America. One of the things that I think that we like to bring on this show that's very important for us, it's the key element, is talking about family and about the grassroots. Tell us what it is to you, for you, by you, about your family. Was it, I had to become this to save my family, to feed my family? Do I do this because I'm surrounded by music? What was it for you? What were the hardships for you growing up that said, I'm going to deal with another hardship, but I'm going to master what it takes to become that in which I envision for myself?
Well, there's different levels, Darren. In my family, there was 13 uncles and aunts, and everybody has somewhat of a talent. It was not like I wanted to become that. It just naturally happened. It was in the plan. It was the plan that God gave me to do. You know, my uncle's a singer. I got uncles that's actors. I just got family that's been there, but that was not my. I went like I got to be just as good or better. I was doing martial arts, as you know we do. I was doing that. I was singing in a corner group. I was just doing me. But I know when God got his hands on you,
Yes, sir.
what it is to be is going to be.
Yes, sir.
So I wasn't like no competitor. I want to be there because everybody sang to my family. My uncles, you know, they was competitive. I was a young guy, you know, the young guy. Hey, let me say, shut up, you know.
gotta prove himself.
But I did that. But at the end of the day, man, it has benefits.
Yes, sir.
You know, yes, I wanted to see a better way for my family. Yes, I knew internally that I was the better one. But you know what? Sometimes you got to let the big dogs bark louder.
That's right.
My uncles announced them because I knew I was coming through. When I did Star Searching, I knew I was coming through because I knew I was talented.
Yes.
I knew the opportunities was there. You know what I mean? But to provide for my family is another thing. Yes. I did too, as any entertainer, from white to black, doesn't matter, Asian, doesn't matter what nationality you're, Latino, everybody wants to help their family, especially when you come from a background of being less fortunate.
Yes.
I wanted no different than taking my mother out to ghetto. Unfortunately, at the time when things was happening to me, my mother, she became like somewhat. I would use the term of bipolar, Scott. So when I became successful, all that, and that was my goal, Darren. My success was to really focus and do for my mom.
I understand.
My father divorced. My dad's Canadian, you know, and he moved back to Toronto, and my mother was stuck with 6 kids. And one day she was working in a restaurant, and I said, one day I'm going to take care of you. One day you ain't going to ever have to do this again.
I understand.
And so when I got the opportunity to reach and grab and make it happen, I used to pray to God, please, when I become successful, let me do the Fox Theater on my birthday. And me, Quincy Jones, Steven Spielberg, Bill Cosby, was all on our way to Oprah's thing in New York on a one-time
Legend.
jet. I'm on a jet, and I'm sitting up there, and Quincy's talking to my manager. You know, my album's out, and my manager going over my schedule with him. And he said, you know, and November the 15th, they're at the Fox Theater in Detroit. And I was like, excuse me, what'd you say? So when November the 15th, that's my birthday.
Yes.
I prayed for that. But at the end of the
God
day,
works.
when my mother when all these things start happening to me, her mental state of mind was diminishing. That bipolar set in. I got concerned that will she understand what I'm doing? So I would dress her up and have her at the Grammys when I was nominated.
Yes,
have her at certain things, but she didn't really appreciate. And when I became, I would have to explain to her, Mama, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it for us. She wouldn't appreciate. I remember I went to buy my house, a beautiful home in Wabeek. She said, I don't want to live here close to these neighbors. I like what I did. She didn't understand it. And that killed me because all what I worked for, all what I, you know.
I've been through it. I get it. It was for them. I've been there.
So to answer your question,
done that.
yeah. So to answer your question, it had a lot to do with a little bit of everything.
I understand. And you were loving her through the whole way. That's your anchor. That was the need that was being fulfilled. And I understand that very much because I love my mother very much, and there's a lot that I did and really, you know, did for her because we want to do for them.
Yeah, and you want to do for them. And see, my outcome was not like the outcome of any other man.
Yeah.
My mother was murdered, as I guess you're aware of that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. So that was double trouble.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
double in the dark place, and just not even doing anything, you know, and Quincy and different people my age, and you got to do something. We got to, and I wasn't there because everything that I worked hard and the person that kept me driven to get there is no longer there, and I felt like I was just out there now. You know what I mean? So So, but then I had to do what I knew she would want me to do. You continue doing what you got to do,
and
you reach and you do it, man.
you reach.
So
and
that's
you do
why
it so well.
that's why I'm here today, because if you notice, Darren, I wasn't when me and you was working together. I wasn't out there working backstage. I was having fun with you doing these shows. That's right. You know, and tapping into something else. When I got the role to play Marvin Gaye, my mother had passed away, and I jumped into the Marvin Gaye story because of the fact that it was like Ziola, Marvin's sister, said you got to do this. You know, if you remind us of Marvin Gaye,
Oh my goodness.
And all that was part of just me releasing my stress. I didn't give a damn if I
Transferring that energy, putting the work into, putting the emotion into your work.
But see, a lot of people don't know, Darren. I didn't care what. I got to a point that I believed in my work, but I didn't care. And as I was saying, so when I did the Marvin Gaye story, it was like a cover up for my pain. At the time I started drinking, I was never really a drinker. At the time, as far as drugs, when I studied Marvin Gaye, I tapped into cocaine. You know, because I had my little brother taping me and Sean Tim, I said, I'm going to try this. And I did it because of one of Marvin's best friends was his distributor. He was
So you went into a straight character acting full.
Yes, so you can understand it. Yeah. And it wasn't like I was up there doing it. I did it because I wanted to see, and I wanted him to tape me to see the difference in who I would become under the influence of drugs. So I took like a line of cocaine just to see, you know, and then you get lost, and the cameras is no longer there because you interacting. Yeah. Because I wanted to, like you said, I wanted to embody Marvin, but at the same time it covered up my pain. So when I would go on stage, although I knew my lines, I didn't care what came out.
You were masking.
I didn't care. And so sometimes my lines would become off script. I would be involved with Clifton Powell, and I would just go there because I embodied Marvin, but I was just there. I was just reacting, and it would be good, and then they'll talk to me about, you know, that was amazing, stand ovations, everything, and they would rewrite what my emotions did. No, Clifton would be like, no, we got to read whatever he said out there. They screamed, but it was from the heart. But I covered up a lot of stuff because I was in pain.
And Clifton knows how to jump in and jump out. He's an amazing actor.
Yes, he is.
He started
Clifton Powell,
so he knows how to ride with you. Yeah. So your journey has been so beautiful, and it's still ongoing. And you're in a space of creativity now, and you're unfolding and becoming more of who you really are. And what I see in you is the best is yet to come. And what I say about that, and when I say the best is yet to come, meaning when you sing those songs that people love, when you meet these new faces, when you're introduced to people who may have not heard you before, and then they fall in love with you in the now, that means the best is yet to come. That means that you have the past, the present, and the future all coming together in alignment. And so we see that for you, and we believe and we know that for you. Everything that you have said today, everything that we talked about, Mr. Mendengal, right? It all ties into one thing: alignment in the groove and loving someone. Mm-hmm. You do everything from love. Do me a favor. Just give me a couple of bars of the song, please. Because this is my favorite song. But
now, can I just make up some stuff?
I just want you to I just want you to bless the mic, bless the show.
I'm in the groove with my friend Darrin Henson and Mike Mendengal, speaking truth and love all over so the world can feel where we coming from. In the groove with Darrin Henson and myself, speaking the truth in the groove.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I love you, man. I love you. Brother, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can just put in Keith, Focus on Keith on Instagram.
Focus on Keith on Instagram.
Yeah, and everything else is Focus on K2. You got me. I'm yours. Remember that. Focus on me. There's a lot of shit out there to focus on, but focus on Keith too, okay?
Keith Washington, Michael Mendengal, please.
Man, thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to hear what you're getting ready to do. We're thankful and happy for what you have done. And I'm excited for the show tomorrow, man. We got everybody coming out. I don't even know if there's tickets left, but I know it's going to be sold out. And
I just want to say I appreciate this guy right here.
Yes, sir.
Because he's taken me under his wing, and he's just broadened my horizon, per se.
Keith is true blue.
Yeah, he is.
He's true blue.
He's not selfish.
Yeah, no, that's
the
real
other
man.
thing.
Yeah. He's selfishly selfless.
Yes.
He cares enough about himself to be selfless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's selfishly selfish. Like you got to be selfish in order to do what you do, but then you become selfless because you're a giver.
Yes.
And we see
That's
that.
true.
We see that.
We fight like brothers. I mean, he's over there sugarcoating shit. I mean, but you know what? But you know what, Darren? Real quick, it works because he pushes me and I push him.
Yes. It's beautiful, man. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for that drop which you left, man. That's what it is. That's our show for today. I am Darren DeWitt Henson, and on behalf of Queen T, who isn't with us today, you have been grooved.